because there are a number of speakers I gather tonight. Yes. Pope John the 23rd was once asked, how many people work at the Vatican? Thank you. Know this one. How many people work at the Vatican? He was asked.
Somebody who works at the Vatican.
Thank you. And when he was asked that question, how many people work at the Vatican, he replied, well, I suppose about half of them. Of course, that's not true. Not true here at Corpus Christi College. And so I'd like to give my heartfelt thanks to all of you, really, but especially to Catherine and to Philippa and Francis and Martin and Jamie and Claire, Emma, Yazid, Leo, Tom, Chris, Kate, Ellen, and all the people who've joined this tag team of chapel officers, been tagged and are willing to tag others. Your skills plus my skills in the ring. Heartfelt thanks to you all. And so, as I was saying on Sunday, if the church is alive in this place, it's thanks to you. Alas, I fear this must be a farewell speech, though. Shame. Stand up, sit down. Yes. Now, when the Bishop of Salisbury heard that I might be leaving and offered me the job I'm going to, dinner at the House of Lords, in fact, well, I knew it was going to be a difficult decision. Now, it seemed possible I could have had perhaps a few more years here. And this job, of course, this role here is a difficult thing to give up. It reminded me, of Tolkien. Giving up possession of the ring of power. In fact, I found that I was increasingly starting to talk to myself about it. Talk to myself out loud about whether to stay or whether to go. And worse than that, I was beginning to address myself in these little discussions as my precious. So perhaps it was time to go. And so this occasion seems to me a bit like the speech that Bilbo Baggins gives at his farewell birthday party.
Are you going to disappear?
Yes.
More importantly, who are the guests to make up the 11 to 4?
There are a number else. So first of all, may I say with Bilbo Baggins that I am immensely fond of you all. And that 5 years is really too short a time to live among such excellent and admirable individuals. First of all, it's a cheer at this point. Thank you. Now, as Bill Bergen said, I suppose that I don't know half of you half as well as I would like, and I fear I've cared for less than half of you half as well as you deserve. And at this point, they're perplexed. The hobbits are perplexed. But if I'm Bilbo Baggins in this analogy, I suppose that makes James Buxton Frodo my successor, and perhaps Professor Ray Page Gandalf, or possibly Treebeard. Yazid is Sam Ganji. Although Yazid, of course, is far more like the faithful Arab counsellor, the scimitar that Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, brings back with him from the Holy Land. And then, of course, Rebecca could be Maid Marian in this adventure, or possibly Helen, who I think is quite good with a longbow. And Francis could be Friar Tuck. Skilled with the quarterstaff, fond of ale, and really quite high church in a medieval kind of way. And Mike could be Little John. I don't know, Martin could be Will Scarlet. And as for the Sheriff of Nottingham, perhaps I better not say. Because I don't want to stir things up. As you know, I'm a calm. Anyway, what I think I'm trying to say here is it's been an adventure with you. And I'll be sad to leave this band of merry men and merry maids. It's been a great privilege to serve you here, and a chance to redeem some of the time misspent in another place, which Jamie doesn't know about.
What time is misspent?
Thank you. I'll do the speech. Now, I remember saying in my interview to get this job that I thought I had unfinished business in this world. I remember thinking, of course, of the world of academia, the world of Oxford. And I remember Professor Hornbury, keen to detect a messianic complex, leaning forward and gently, pityingly asking me, do you mean before you die? But Providence has given me the chance to pass on something of what I've received from Corpus. It's an odd thing, friends. Although I wasn't at Corpus as an undergraduate, I've received my Christian formation from deans of Corpus, strangely enough. At crucial moments, they were there for me. I remember during my final exams, I had to get a first to get into Oxford, to get the DPhil, to get this job, eventually. And in the middle of my exams, I remember I hadn't had lunch, which was a mistake. I'd only had chocolate and coffee, and so I was doing this exam. Oh dear. Shame was on me. And it was like trying to plough through sand, walking through sand. I knew the stuff, but I couldn't write it down. So I had a moment of kind of vertigo. So I was crossing this precipice to Oxford, and I was looking down. Suddenly I had this vertigo. I remember I took a taxi almost immediately after the exam outside, and I went out to see Roland Walls, who's one of my predecessors, who's a hermit of sorts, an extraordinary person, one of the most brilliant of my predecessors perhaps. He lives as a hermit now in a forest, in the Da Vinci Code this forest is, Roslin, where Helen comes from. And he calmed me down. And I went back and passed the rest of the exams. And also Peter Walker, who perhaps you saw on Sunday, one of the greatest bishops of the Church of England, I think, who I went to talk to at critical stages about thinking about ordination of the priesthood. So both of these people were there for me at critical stages. What I learned from them about Corpus, Corpus was at the heart of the Church of England, with the Augustine Gospel, with the 39 Articles, the original copy in the Parker Library. I learned that Corpus stood for a particular way of being a Christian from them. I've never forgotten that Corpus is the college of Edwin Hoskins, it's the college of Donald McKinnon, who are the theological mentors of two of the greatest archbishops of Canterbury ever, Michael Ramsey and Rowan Williams. They taught them a way of being a Christian that's passionately orthodox, that's radical, and yet ecumenically open to all other Christians. Hear, hear.
Yeah.
And this is the Christian formation I've tried to pass on to you. I think this is Corpus' gift to the whole church militant. And so I commit this Corpus tradition into your keeping with thanksgiving for the years we spent together here. In the best college in the world, I think. And so if you're ever in Salisbury, I'll be very glad to see you. You'll probably even take a break from the relentless scheming, intrigue, ambition that is the daily bread of a bishop's chaplain.
Are you sure you're giving up the ring?
I'll do the speech. Bishop's chaplain as played by Alan Rickman. Take a turn around the close with you, perhaps. Maybe pause for a cup of tea and some mild clerical humour. Otherwise, as I said in the sermon on Sunday, I hope we'll see each other again in the kingdom of God.
Indeed.
Unless, of course, they invite me back earlier than that to preach here, perhaps. Or maybe even at a dinner for old members. Thank you very much.